Today we shall continue our discussion on polymerization reactions. Besides addition reactions of polymerization, we shall discuss condensation approach to polymerization also. In the previous session, we discussed polymerization of alkenes by free radical, cationic and anionic mechanisms, toxicity of polymers, various substituted ethylenes as monomers and their polymers were also shown in the form of their chemical structures. Besides, we discussed copolymerization and various monomers, their structures and the polymers so produced by copolymerization and the effect on properties by such a copolymerization reactions. While doing polymerization by free radical mechanism, there arise certain problems. We shall focus on these problems. To overcome these problems, Ziegler and Natta developed a catalyst for addition reactions. We shall discuss about Ziegler-Natta catalyst, its mode of action and the stereochemical control of a polymer during the synthesis. So, condensation polymerization in addition shall be discussed separately in details with several examples and chemistry of certain polymers from our daily life. Polyurethane formation, polyurethane is one of the very important polymer in daily life and industrial applications, and besides a new class of polymers in alkenes particularly or double bonded systems, that is conducting polymers, shall also be discussed. As I mentioned about the possible defects with free radical polymerization, these include when we carry out free radical polymerization reaction at high temperature, the growing free radical chain not only adds to the double bond of the monomer in a chain already produced, it may abstract a hydrogen atom from anywhere from the monomeric unit in the chain. As a result, this abstraction generates a free radical center from which a branch can grow. So, that means, instead of a linear polymer growing, we get different branchings randomly at anywhere in the growing chain. These highly branched polyethylene molecules, for example, fit together poorly and in a random way. The compound or the polymer is said to have low crystallinity, it has a low melting point and mechanically weak. Let us examine this reaction. This is a section of polymer with two monomeric units, for example, shown over here, and this is another polymeric section going on, and this is the radical center somewhere. So, what it does? It starts growing alkene from here, and this alkene is coming in the next step, because we said it is a addition polymerization. So, another monomer coming in. So, it will start adding on to somewhere in between where this radical has been created instead of growing in a linear fashion. So, Ziegler-Natta catalyst is made from a transition metal in the form of its salt, typically titanium chloride, and a metal alkyl which is triethyl aluminum, also known as TEA. These reagents react to form an active catalyst, which is a titanium complex holding an ethyl group. I shall show you the reaction. In the year 2010, the total volume of plastics, elastomers and rubbers produced from alkenes worldwide with these and related catalysts, these means Ziegler-Natta related catalysts and similar other catalysts developed later on. Worldwide production exceeded 100 million metric tons. You can imagine the volume. When an alkene, for example, ethylene is introduced, it attaches itself to titanium by a pi bond. The pi orbital of alkene overlaps with an empty orbital of metal. The catalyst is named after Carl Ziegler. You can see Carl Ziegler of Germany and Giulio Natta of Italy. Both scientists jointly received Nobel Prize of Chemistry in 1963 for developing such a catalyst and developing polymers with such good properties which were desirable in a polymer. Let us examine the mode of action, how this Ziegler-Natta catalyst really acts to control the stereochemistry and linear chain of a growing polymer. The ethylene unit inserts itself between metal and ethyl group. As I said already, titanium, when we prepared the complex, titanium is with an ethyl group available in the complex. So, when an ethylene unit as a monomer comes in, it inserts itself between metal and the ethyl group. There is an n-butyl group attached now to titanium in place of ethyl. So, that means one monomeric unit as ethylene has been added at one time. The bonding site where ethylene was held is vacant now, and the catalyst is ready, is fresh to work again in a similar manner. Another ethylene would come, it would be pi bonded to the metal and would insert itself between the metal and alkyl, thus has an N hexyl group is formed, because each time 2 carbons are added. Initially there was one ethyl group, and we have explained the involvement or addition of 2 ethylene units to grow the chain. You can look here. We can see this mode of action of Ziegler-Natta catalyst in this reaction chart. This is the Ziegler-Natta catalyst with titanium having an ethyl group. A monomer like ethylene is coming in, which would insert into the p orbital of titanium and will push the existing ethyl group to the other side. So, now the titanium is bonded to n-butyl chain instead of simply ethyl group. So, that means one ethylenic molecule as a monomer is inserted between the titanium and the existing ethyl group, and then again a vacant p orbital is available. The catalyst is ready once again for use in the next step. Again another ethylene molecule comes in, gets inserted through its pi electrons into the vacant orbital of titanium, and now will push this n-butyl chain. So, n-hexyl chain is now available and catalyst is once again fresh available. So, this is how each time one by one monomeric unit gets on adding, and there are no chances of the polymeric chain getting branched or any radical etcetera abstracted from anywhere randomly in the chain. So, in this manner we can say with this titanium as a catalyst available afresh at every step for accepting addition of each individual monomeric unit. The process continues over and over again, with the alkyl group growing by 2 carbons in each step. Finally, through the insertion of hydrogen, the long chain separates from the metal and a molecule of polymeric molecule gets formed. The advantages, as already discussed in terms of the disadvantages with free radical addition, polymerization with Ziegler-Natta catalysts has 2 important advantages over free radical polymerization. Number 1, it gives a linear molecule, as we have seen in the mechanistic steps in the reaction chart, and it permits stereochemical control. In the previous session we discussed isotactic, syndiotactic and atactic kind of polymers. So, in this case such a stereochemical control is also possible. Polyethylene made by Ziegler-Natta catalyst is virtually unbranched, and these molecules fit together well into properties which are different from the polymer which was otherwise could be prepared by simple free radical reaction. Polymer has a high degree of crystallinity, high melting point and high density. These are the characteristic, very important characteristics of a polymer for its industrial applications. Stereochemical control by proper choice of catalyst, temperature, solvent etcetera. They give isotactic, syndiotactic, atactic polypropylene can be easily controlled. Now, we shall discuss another very important method of polymerization, which is known as step reaction polymerization or condensation polymerization, which is altogether different from what we have discussed under free radical or cationic or ionic mechanism of polymerization. In general, we could say that there are 2 general ways of formation of polymers. The one was addition reaction polymerization, and this is the second major mechanistic mode of polymerization, which is known as step reaction or condensation polymerization. In this, a series of reaction occurs, which is in this series each step is independent of the preceding one. So, monomer undergoes reaction at more than one functional groups. So, the monomers are such which have in the beginning itself more than one functional group. Formation of dacron, nylon 6,6 and nylon 6 as some examples we will discuss in the next few slides. In this reaction we are showing formation of dacron. The monomer is a glycol unit CH2OH, CH2OH, ethylene glycol. Another monomer is a terephthalic acid, a dicarboxylic acid. As I mentioned earlier, so that means monomers are different, not like in case of polyethylene all the monomeric units were ethylene molecules. So, here we have two different monomers. Secondly, each has more than one functional group. Ethylene glycol has two hydroxyl group which would act as the functional group site of reactions. This terephthalic acid has two carboxylic groups in para positions. So, each of them can be a site of reaction. So, it will form, as you know from your general chemistry knowledge, that a reaction between an alcoholic and a carboxylic group leads to the formation of an ester. So, this is a class of synthetic polyesters. You can see that one of the sites of this carboxyl group and one of the hydroxyl groups, they react together, giving you this ester linkage. Then in the next step, when I said in the beginning that each step is independent of the next step, it means this unit so produced still has a functional group carboxyl as well as a hydroxyl. So, we can manage in the next step which monomer we want to use. Now, we are using again glycol molecule. So, this gets added onto the again carboxylic side. Next time we are seeing that the molecule so produced has two hydroxyl groups as the functional groups. So, we make use of in the next step a terephthalic acid molecule. So, that is added over here. So, the polymer is growing, or we can grow from either side using this carboxyl group reaction with glycol unit, and the other hand this hydroxyl group reaction could take place with another molecule of terephthalic acid. So, polyester made from aliphatic carboxylic acids had a very low hydrolytic stability. Polyesters of aromatic phthalic acid were better in this respect. Ortho orientation of the two carboxylic groups was responsible for such a behavior, for non-stretching of the fiber, which was not commercially very useful. When this fiber, this polyester was prepared with terephthalic acid in which the two carboxyl groups were para substituted. So, that gave better results, and we find that this is a better polymer fiber as a polymeric fiber, synthetic fiber, polyester group class of fibers. Terephthalic acid is the monomer of polyester or PET, polyethylene terephthalate. You must have heard in the market several materials, bottles, flasks, etc., made of PET or PET commonly known as. So, PET now represents over 50% of world synthetic fiber manufacturing. It is used in fibers to make clothing, containers for liquids and foods, and plastic bottles. Several million tons of such a polymer are produced worldwide annually. The same polyester is known by different commercial names in different countries. You have seen the reaction, you have seen the formation of such a polyester. It is known as Dacron in USA, it is known as Terylene in Britain, because it was started for the first time in Britain, and when it was started with terephthalic acid. So, it was the name was taken from this terylene. In Russia, this is known as Lavsan. In Japan, it is known as Teteron. You must have heard in Teteron. The word Teteron you must have heard as a fiber in market. Many producers or manufacturers try to sell their same product under different names. Public in general is not aware of that it is the same polyester, and this is also known as Diolen in Germany. Other two highly manufactured polymers used by condensation polymerizations are polyethylene PE and polypropylene PP. We can see in the next slide the reactions for some of these polymers. You see here this is TPA or terephthalic acid reaction with ethylene glycol, direct esterification. So, we have shown it in this manner. Two molecules of ethylene glycol are added on either end with this each of these carboxylic group. So, this is known as BHET. This is dimethyl terephthalic acid. With this also we can perform a reaction with ethylene glycol. The reaction is you are aware, is termed as trans-esterification, carried out in presence of zinc or tin acetate as a catalyst. So, since they are condensation reactions, which mean when two molecules react together, beside the formation of desired product, a small molecule is eliminated. In first case it is water, and in second case it is methanol molecule which is eliminated. So, that is why these are termed as condensation reactions. So, this BHET once again reacting with simple CH3 CH2 OH in this manner, and in presence of antimony or germanium or titanium catalyst, BHET indicates bis 2-hydroxyethyl terphthalate. That BHET is further reacted with an antimony catalyst to give a high molecular weight polymer, where N, that is number of monomeric units, is 130 to 150, where N is the number of monomeric units as shown here as well. You can see the reaction. This is PET, as I just mentioned, PET, and N is equal to more than 130 or 150, N indicated here. This is a polymeric section shown in this, with N might be 130 to 150 anywhere, and depending upon number of N and number of ethylene glycol units or number of terephthalic units, various properties, the porosity etc. of these polymers PET bottles is changed. Several soft drinks, carbonated drinks, Coca-Cola etc., commercial products like this, they are, it is very important for such materials that they are packed in such PET bottles, so that the carbon dioxide etc. is not released, the porosity should be such, should be commercially successful to retain, to maintain the liquid or the drink filled in that. PET is prepared in two-stage process. Ethylene glycol or its dimethyl ester, you can see the ethylene glycol or its dimethyl ester, which is known as DMT, and terephthalic acid is TPA, is reacted with ethylene glycol to give bis 2-hydroxyethyl terphthalate, this species which is known as BHET. This is a condensation reaction. As you know, a condensation reaction is defined as in which a small molecule is eliminated with the formation of the desired product. That small molecule, depending upon the functional groups of the reacting species, could be a water molecule, could be a methanol. So, in case 1, reaction of TPA with terphthallic acid or terephthalic acid, water molecule is eliminated. With the reaction of DMT, a methanol is eliminated. So, as a result, once BHET is produced, in the second step, this BHET is reacted with antimony catalyst or germanium, titanium, different kind of catalysts to give a high molecular weight polymer, where in the number of monomeric units could be 130 to 150. And you see here a polymeric section with N ranging between 130 to 150, and with the change in these monomeric units, with change of N, various properties of this polymer can be changed or are changed. So, the reaction conditions are chosen to maximize the yield of polymer while minimizing side reactions, such as decomposition of N groups to give acetaldehyde. We do not want acetaldehyde to be formed, it is undesirable. The world capacity for PET is about 9.5 metric ton per annum. The largest producer in the United States of America is the Eastman Chemical Company, which produces about 1.4 metric ton of this polymer per annum. Global PET supply is expected to exceed 24 million tons in this year 2015. The simplest polyester with ethylene glycol proved to be an excellent fiber forming polymer. It was first launched by ICI shortly after World War II as Stearin. As I mentioned, in England it was named as Stearin. In 1935, DuPont, another big chemical giant, big major world international company in chemical manufacturing, different kind of chemical manufacturing, it launched nylon, a linear polymer. The first commercial synthetic polyesters were glycerol phthalate, known as glyptal resins, used in coating during World War I, prepared from glycerol and phthalic anhydride as the monomeric units, and Today also these are used as plastic organic pigments, as paints in the form of which we know plastic paints. Let us discuss certain other polymers, say formation of nylon 6,6. The monomers are adipic acid and hexamethylene diamine. This is adipic acid, it contains 6 carbons, 2 of carboxylic groups and 4 CH2 units in a linear fashion. And this is hexamethylene, 6 CH2 units in a linear fashion and 2 amino groups. So, both the monomers satisfy our condition of having more than one functional groups. Further reaction with this, say hexamethylene diamine, a kind of polymeric section is shown here, and a synthetic fiber which belongs to polyamide nature, because as a result of the reaction between a carboxyl group and amino group and amide bond, the CONH bond is produced. So, this is a general class of polyamides fibers, and it is also known as nylon 6,6. In certain books or certain places, it is also referred directly as nylon 66, but technically it is correct, it is better to mention nylon 6,6, because the each of the 2 monomeric units contains 6 carbon atoms. So, this 6,6 represent that each monomer contains 6 carbon atoms to produce such a polyamide polymer. Another polymer in this category is nylon 6. So, that means there is only one monomer with 6 carbon atom units, which is a caprolactam. Caprolactam also exists in this cyclic manner as a stable species. So, this is a single difunctional molecule and the 2 functional groups are reactive towards one another. So, this is the molecule actually. So, we see that there are 6 carbon atoms, CH2 5 units, 1 carboxyl and 1 amino group. So, when in the same molecule this carboxyl and NH2 group they react, we get such a cyclic structure which is known as caprolactam, and this opens up when it reacts with water molecule. And this molecule continues in this manner condensation reaction with another such a molecule, and it gives nylon 6. So, the basic difference between nylon 6,6 and nylon 6 is visible here, that it contains a monomer with 6 carbon units, while in nylon 6,6 there were 2 different monomers each containing 6 carbon atoms in the chain. To look into a summary of some of these condensation polymers, their monomers and mode of condensation, you can see this chart. Polyester, as we have seen, step growth polymerization, you have seen this is methyl ester of terephthalic acid and this is ethylene glycol. Nylon 6,6 fiber, step growth thermal amidation reaction, amidation because amide bond is produced, you have seen these monomers. Nylon 6 we have just seen, this is 6 amino hexanoic acid or its cyclic molecule is caprolactam. This is also step growth by ring opening. First we have to get this ring opened and allow the molecule to react further with the same molecule. Polyurethanes is one of the very important major class of synthetic polymers. In this case, this is also a case of step growth by nucleophilic addition reactions. Epoxy resins, the monomers are shown here, you can see. Let us discuss the synthesis of polyurethane by this chart showing the different chemical reactions. Ethylene glycol molecule and adipic acid, we have seen adipic acid earlier. These two react to give such a species. This is allowed to react with a diisocyanate unit, NCO, NCO. So, this is phenyl diisocyanate. Onto this, the reaction is taking place at this end, NHCO, and this whole unit gets added onto this, and still each end has a functional group available to continue the polymerization reaction. So, this is a section of polyurethane. In the manufacturing process, a little water is mixed with the diol. We have seen the diol, ethylene glycol. Some of the diisocyanate reacts with water to give an aromatic diamine and carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide forms bubbles that are trapped in the bulk of the polymer as it solidifies. So, when the polymer starts solidifying, carbon dioxide so produced during the reaction, it tries to go out, but in the polymeric bed it gets entrapped. So, as a result the polymer becomes or the product becomes spongy, which is polyurethane. That is the characteristic feature, and it gives a large number of applications to this polyurethane, which are also known as polyurethane foam. Here it is the general reaction shown: diisocyanate, two water molecules, such diamine is produced and carbon dioxide is produced. So, in the formation of this polyurethane foam, this carbon dioxide, as I mentioned, is entrapped into the growing or bulk mass of the polymer when it solidifies. We shall now discuss another interesting class of polymers, which are known as conducting polymers. Certain class of polymers called conjugated polymers contain many double bonds, and they are usually semiconductors with unusual electrical properties. These can conduct electricity and they emit light when a current is passed through them, for example, polythiophene. You can see this is the polymeric section of thiophene, and when such units get polymerized, hole N is indicated. This is one of the polymers of this category of conducting polymers. How do they are formed and how they were developed? This is an interesting story we shall just now discuss. In the year 2000, Nobel Prize for Chemistry was jointly awarded in this area of conducting polymers to three scientists: Alan Graham McDiarmid and Alan Hager of University of Pennsylvania, United States of America, and Shirakawa of Tokyo Institute of Technology, Japan. You can see here Professor Alan McDiarmid, a photo taken in the year 2005. It so happened that a researcher in Shirakawa's group in Japan was attempting to make regular non-conducting polyacetylene, which is a black powder. Instead of using the usual small amount of catalyst required to make that polymer, by mistake the researcher added 1,000 times excess of the catalyst, and the result was a jelly like plastic that shined like a metal. The research student was not able to understand, he was afraid of, he tried to repeat the experiment and then he found the same results. The reason was excess of catalyst was used, but he could not explain what is happening, why it happened, why the normal black powder of polyacetylene was not formed, and why such a different behavior of this polymer. With these puzzles continued in the mind of Shirakawa also. So, Professor Alan McDiarmid at the University of Pennsylvania invited Shirakawa in 1976 from Tokyo Institute of Technology to his group in Pennsylvania to investigate this phenomena, and the error, in fact, they were considering it to be an error because of the unusual properties of polyacetylene. They discovered that doping with iodine vapor or bromine could enhance the conductivity of polyacetylene by a factor of 10 million. This technique is called chemical doping and is analogous to doping of silicon that makes transistors possible. Maybe you are aware with this doping of silicon to form transistors. Some of the chemical structures of some of the conducting polymers are shown here. You can see here from top left, this one, it is a polyacetylene, then we have polyphenylene, vinylene and polypyrrole, where X is NH, and polythiophene if X is equal to S in this molecule, and polyaniline where X is equal to in this case NH or N, and another is polyphenylene sulfide. This is polyphenylene sulfide where X is sulfur. These are some of the examples of conducting polymers so produced from different monomeric units. Further experiments on conjugated polymers showed that they could also be doped electrochemically. By applying a voltage to the polymer, it can switch between a neutral undoped form and a conducting, which is a doped form. The doped form and undoped forms have distinctly different colors. These are intelligent glass, a new class of polymers. To adjust to bright light, the polymer could darken window panes or glasses like built-in shades. You must have seen such glasses in your daily routine life at many places. When polymer is electrochemically doped, it expands. The property has potential application as artificial muscles. So, it has biomedical applications also, which are being still explored. So, in summary, we would say that there were limitations of polymerization when we did with free radical process, and they affected the properties of polymers so produced because of branching, etc. Ziegler Natta, who were awarded Nobel Prize, the two scientists, they developed a catalyst and showed steric control of polymers, polymeric chain, linear chain, and other advantages offered by Ziegler Natta catalyst in terms of the various physical properties of the polymer so produced. We have also discussed in details the another second approach of polymerization reactions, which is known as step reaction or condensation polymerizations. Under this category, we have seen formation of different polymers like nylon 6, PET, nylon 6,6 and Dacron and polyurethane. Besides, we have discussed in details and seen how a new class of polymers, conducting polymers, was developed. With this, we conclude our discussion on chemistry of alkenes. This included nomenclature, methods of formation, physical properties and relative stabilities, chemical reaction of alkenes, electrophilic and free radical additions, Markovnikov's rule and its mechanistic justification in terms of carbocation, and at the same time what was anti-Markovnikov addition, several addition reactions including like hydrogenation, hydration, hydroxylation by peracid and KMnO4 as well, epoxidation, hydroboration, oxidation reactions, ozonolysis and various aspects of polymerization.